Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, Lami Ali. More leaders are expressing hope that despite the current challenging socio-economic situation, Nigerians will soon witness the benefits of measures being taken by the current administration. Former Governor of Nasarawa State, Umaru Al-Makura, who spoke to State House correspondents after meeting the President, acknowledges that the hard decisions taken so far by the President are necessary to redirect the economy and move the country towards greatness.
I have seen the renewed hope agenda as something that will change the scheme of things for the better for this country, especially in the areas of security, economic development, and already we can start seeing how sustainable growth and sustainability is being achieved. If you look at the area of security, you see that a lot of efforts are being made to calm the fears of Nigerians in the economic sector too, and the well-being of Nigerians. I think Nigerians should be patient. I'm sure sooner than later, the vision and policies of this administration will rub positively on Nigerians.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has approved the grant of a wage award of 35,000 naira only per month to all federal government workers with effect from September 2023, pending when a new national minimum wage is expected to be signed into law. A statement by the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission, Akure, states that the implementation of the 35,000 naira per month wage award for all federal government ministries, departments and agencies that are funded from the Treasury will be taken from there, while non-Treasury funded federal government agencies are to implement same from their internally generated revenue or statutory allocations. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says Nigeria's foreign policy agenda, known as the Tinubu Doctrine, built on 4 pillars of democracy, demography, diaspora and development, is determined to reinforce Nigeria's position as a leader in Africa. This was as the first Angola and Nigeria Business Forum held in Abuja. Salihu Gwanara brings us the details.
Nigeria and Angola have common destiny as both countries are blessed with enormous natural resources as Africa's leading oil producers. Minister of Information and National Orientation was among key industry players at the inauguration of the Angola and Nigeria Business Council, an initiative, he says, is in line with President Bola Tinubu's vision that African countries forge deeper and stronger connections that allow the continent a bigger and more positions on the global stage.
Africans must be united in our thinking around development, industrialization, trade, job creation, and the place of our continent in the 21st century. Among other things, we are working on signing an MOU on public communication and media exchange with the Embassy of Angola in Nigeria as part of efforts at deepening our relationship. I look forward to this and many more demonstrations of our bilateral alignments. Nigeria is very much keen to support Angola's domestic and foreign policy aspirations and the country's overall development. We expect reciprocity in this regard. Indeed, the progress of one is the progress of all.
Participants agreed that the proposed business partnership will provide an opportunity for more efficiency and productivity to increase wealth and prosperity for both countries. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
The gender-sensitive disposition of the Bola Tinubu administration will quicken the pace of developments in Nigeria, as no nation can thrive without active engagements of the women folk. In the light of this, governments at all levels must be intentional about bringing more women into governance. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, made this submission when she granted audience to the national women leader of the All Progressives Congress, XYZ, at the Villa. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
The current administration has received a lot of applause for bringing more women into governance, especially in the area of appointments into key positions.
We want to say congratulations.
With a deputy in tow, the national women leader of the APC, Mary Idile, is at the office of the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, to thank her for playing an active role in changing the narrative. The ruling party, she says, boasts of qualified women who are waiting in the wings to be called upon for national duty. And apart from engaging them in governance, equally important is the need to create better access for women, particularly those in the rural areas across the country, to understand and benefit from government policies and programs.
We want to have avenue where we can remove the stigmatization of women in politics in Nigeria, so that we can have more women, more young girls come into politics.
There is more optimism on the part of the First Lady, who sees the playing field getting better for women as government maintains the trajectory of engaging more of them. To achieve more impact, the First Lady encouraged those found worthy of such roles to always reach out to key stakeholders.
Those who have appointments shouldn't see it as an island unto themselves. My advice to them is, if you are given a position, you are representing millions of women, so you shouldn't take it for granted. So you should be able to represent them well.
And for young women who are interested in politics to fit in, the First Lady says they must be mentored into maturity. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
NPC Retail Limited, a subsidiary of NPC Limited, says there is no cause for alarm despite the appearance of fuel queues in some parts of Lagos and a few other locations around the country, while attributing visible queues to reduced depot loadouts in Apapa, Lagos over a few days. The statement reiterated that the root cause has since been addressed. It assured all Nigerians and motorists that there is ample supply with sufficiency of at least 30 days. The statement urged motorists to desist from panic buying as distribution will soon normalize. To politics now, all is now set for the Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi State governorship elections coming up November 11th. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu stated that the commission's preparedness in a meeting with resident electoral commissioners in Abuja. Mie Ogidi reports.
The podiums are busy again in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states. Dance steps that electorate will see once every 4 years are out again with convincing promises. While the candidates embark on their different strategies to get victory, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu meeting the 37 resident electoral commissioners. They are 37, but 34 are on relaxed mood, while 3 are on the hot seat for the 11/11/2023 elections.
So far, all non-sensitive materials for the election have been delivered to the 3 states. The Commission plans to deploy a total of 46,084 regular and ad hoc staff for the election.
INEC seems set for the job, but there is fear on one front.
We are concerned about the prevailing insecurity and election-related violence in the 3 states.
It takes positive results to cancel insult, and the glitches experienced in the 2023 general election will not be repeated.
Valuable lessons have been learned from the 2023 general election for improved performance in the forthcoming elections.
Just 3 weeks to go. Results will be uploaded, INEC promised. And Nigerians are watching with keen interest the processes and the outcome of the 3 governorship elections. Mie Ogede, NT News.
Now, the Supreme Court has constituted a 7-member panel of justices to hear the appeal of Atiku Abubakar challenging the decision of the Presidential Election Petition Court, which dismissed its petition. Atiku Abubakar, in his petition, asked the courts below challenge the outcome of the February 25th presidential election, leading to the declaration and return of President Bola Tinubu. The Apex Court will equally hear the application of the appellant seeking its leave to bring fresh evidence to prove his appeal. The court will be hearing the matters next week, Monday. Atiku Abubakar participated in the February 25th, 2023 election as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Now, agro-processing and storage must be accorded priority in crop value chain for Nigerians to be food secured. This was the view of experts in the field of crop production, who also believe that when crop farmers get fully engaged in post-harvest value addition, the mantra of food security will come to reality. Johannes has an interface with stakeholders and filed in this report.
Adamu Megari is a full-time farmer who practices crop rotation on his farm to maintain soil nutrients. Adamu says his farm yields in the past 5 years have been amazing due to the training he received on crop production techniques, processing and storage, which before now were his major challenges, resulting in a lot of setbacks.
Thank God, we are now receiving a lot of trainings. Our losses has reduced.
The problem farmers like Adamu face for decades is gradually receiving attention at both federal and state levels through collaboration with development partners. For instance, the Kano Agro-Pastoral Development Project now covers crop and vegetable farmers with emphasis on processing and storage aimed at addressing post-harvest losses.
We promote technologies at each stage of the post-harvest handling, that is from harvesting to threshing to milling and also to storage techniques.
With this development, which has so far reached out to more than 300,000 beneficiaries, farmers like Adamu will soon experience turnaround in efficiency and profitability, hence accelerating the food security drive of the present administration. In Kano, Johannes Hassan, NTA News.
Now, Johannes Hassan is at the moment at Enkaba Market in Kano City with Abdul Rashid Hamisu. He is the project coordinator of the Kano Agro-Pastoral Development Project, and he's going to speak more on the post-harvest losses and the way forward. You're on, Johannes.
Well, thank you, Lami. We are at Enkaba Market, and as we said, you know, Kano Agro-Pastoral Development Project, which has been in existence for like 3 years now, has covered a lot in the area of regenerative agriculture, market-oriented, and then improving the livelihood of farmers, especially those in the hinterlands. We know a lot has been done, project coordinator, on the issue of post-harvest reduction, you know, the losses farmers incur. We want you to shed more light on what the Kano Agro-Pastoral Development Project is ready to do to ensure that the drive of the present administration of ensuring food security in Nigeria is being attained within a short period of time.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me quickly give a big background on the Kano State Agro-Pastoral Development Project. Kano State Agro-Pastoral Development Project, it's a project owned by Kano State Government, and it's receiving funding from Islamic Development Bank and Lives and Livelihood Funds. So Sasakawa Africa is implementing the crop value chain of the project, and as we are aware, post-harvest loss, it's a kind of a significant issue, and its impact is multifaceted that actually touch a lot of stakeholders like smallholder farmers, consumers, and even the economy as a whole. So through the KSADP, looking at the menace and also the impact of the post-harvest loss, the KSADP as a project through Sasakawa Africa under the nutrition-sensitive agriculture component, we are actually introducing a lot of technologies, agricultural technologies that help reducing the post-harvest loss, thereby enhancing and also increasing the income of the farmers. And those post-harvest loss reductions that we are introducing cuts across the grains and also the vegetable aspect. In the vegetable aspect, we are aware that tomato is a highly perishable, and onions. So tomato, we have introduced returnable plastic crates that help in improving the aeration of tomato while transporting it from one destination to another and increase the shelf life of tomato. Then for onions, we have what we call artificial onion storage technology. It's a technology that we have introduced under the project, which supports farmers, especially those that are into onions as a business, to actually store and also increase the shelf life. It helps them to reduce the post-harvest loss of over 60%, because it is estimated that farmers experience as high as 30 to 40% post-harvest loss. That actually contributes to food insecurity. And now what we are doing apart from that, we also introduce additional technologies that help farmers to store, like pigs technology, Purdue improved storage technology, which is hermetic in nature, and it helps farmers. We also do a capacity building across nook and crannies, where we sensitize farmers to understand what they need to do to preserve their grains, to also preserve their vegetables, to add value to their produce, and to also ensure that there is also sustainability in terms of management.
So talking about, talking about the issue of target farmers, more than 300 farmers so far have been covered regarding what agro processing is doing. What is your target in the year, the ending of this year and then come 2024?
We have already surpassed our target, and this year we have targeted about 270,000, and we end up networking 366,000 farmers in Kano across the 44 local governments. And those farmers were impacted in the areas of regenerative agriculture, like you have said, nutrition-sensitive agriculture and market-oriented agriculture. And post-harvest loss reduction intervention usually takes place around the nutrition-sensitive agriculture component. We are even establishing secondary processing centers where farmers are trained and supported with enterprise like rice mills, flour mills, and all other things around the value addition. For women, they are also trained on improved parboiling technology so that they can reduce breakage and they can also add value to the paddy that is coming, which is being processed to get the milling rice. So
we know so many has been done regarding training these farmers to get up to date on the modern techniques of processing. We now hand you over to Adeola in Lagos, where the news continues.
Nigerian roads have been reminded to drive with caution and comply with other safety regulations necessary to change the tide of road crashes synonymous with Ember months. The Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Lagos State Command, Babatunde Farinloye, re-emphasized this at the agency's safety campaign for the Ember months. Diana Ajale has the details.
Available statistics from the Federal Road Safety Corps revealed that between January and September 2023, Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos State Command alone recorded no fewer than 353 auto crashes with 79 deaths, while 603 people sustained various degrees of injuries. I interacted with road users on changing the perceived means to the reality of embracing caution.
In my own way, I can't speed more than 40.
Enlightenment for drivers members, time to time, and ensure proper monitoring of their vehicle.
Speed violation, wrongful overtaking, among others, were some of the factors identified as causes of road accidents.
And the theme of our campaign this year is speed thrills but kills. Drive responsibly.
Today's event is reminding all consumers, particularly drivers, about the harms and ills of drinking while driving.
We are trying to do to ensure that we drive into their system so that they can be cautious on the road and ensure that we have a free ember period.
Do what is right, avoid infractions that are life-threatening, because during this period, anyone caught in the web of this kind of life-threatening violation will be subject to psychological evaluation.
The Ember Months campaign is part of integral components of the Federal Road Safety Corps' strategic interventions towards reducing the consciousness of Nigerians to the realities of road traffic crashes and its mind-boggling implications on lives and property. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Late Alhaja Mariam Iyabo Olusi, wife of the chairman of the Lagos State Advisory Council, Prince Tajuddin Olusi, has been described by many as a woman of great virtue and strong character who held tight the home front and supported her husband's political career, as well as passionately impacted on the vulnerable in her community. This was when the management team of the Nigerian Television Authority Lagos Channel 10, led by the General Manager Olatunji Adekoya, paid a condolence visit on Prince Tajuddin Olusi, husband of the deceased.
Calling the husband of the deceased, the General Manager of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Lagos Channel 10, Olatunji Adekoya, who represented the Director General of NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembos, prayed for God to grant forgiveness the shortcoming of the deceased, as well as grant her the best part of Jannah.
In the word of Quran, that say Allah gives, Allah take. We'll take solace in that. On behalf of NTA, we give you this condolence letter, sir.
Late Alhaja Mariam Iyabo Olusi, to many, led a humble and humanitarian life, as many described her as a cheerful giver who went the extra mile to empower others.
Great mother. She's a problem solver. No how you have problem, you bring it to her, she will solve it. And she's obedient.
Great woman, passionate. She can. I see nothing she cannot do. I see nothing. Absolutely.
Chairman of the Lagos State Governor's Advisory Council and the husband of the deceased, Prince Tajuddin Oluyole Olusi, had this to say about his late wife.
My wife has been a very supportive wife, a wife who has the fear of Allah, a wife who had lived her life in accordance with the prescription of Islam. She followed the tenets of Islam, she prayed, she respects me as the husband, and she takes care of the children.
Late Alhaja Mariam Olusi, who died at the age of 77 last Saturday, has since been laid to rest in Islamic rites at the Okesuna Muslim Cemetery in Lagos. In Lagos, Nerutinina Musa, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide continues in Sokoto with Sadia after this time out. To stay with us.
In Sokoto. The Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Sokoto has delivered judgments in 6 cases affecting federal constituencies in Sokoto State. Zainab Said Abdul Nasir reports.
The 3-man panel led by Justice Josephine Oyefeso
in its ruling dismissed the petition of the People's Democratic Party and its candidate Musa Abubakar Gidamari, challenging the victory of APC candidate Sani Alhaji Yakubu. The tribunal said the petitioners failed to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, citing Section 282, Subsection 6, Section 65 and Section 66 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. It also ordered the petitioners to pay the respondent 250,000 naira as fine. Counsel to the petitioners, Barrister Uchenna Ibekwe, said they are not satisfied with the judgment and will appeal the case. Counsel to the respondents, Kabiru Abdullahi, described the judgment as a victory for democracy. The tribunal also dismissed the petition filed by PDP candidate Hassan Muhammad Raba, challenging the victory of Ibrahim Ali Al-Mustafa Raba of APC. Responding on the judgment, member representing Gudu Tangaza Federal Constituency, Sani Alhaji Yakubu, and Ibrahim Ali Mustafa of Wurnu Raba Federal Constituency described the judgment as true reflection of democracy. The tribunal also dismissed the petition by Musa S. Adar of APC against Bashir Mohammed Goro of PDP for Gada Goronyo Federal Constituency, Mohammed Saidu Bargaja of PDP against the election of late Jelani Dambuga of APC for Isa Sabon Birni Federal Constituency, and that of PDP candidate Mani Meshinko Katami against Saadu Nabunkari Benji for Benji Silami Federal Constituency, and the petition by Shoaibu Gwanda Gobir of the PDP for Sokoto East Senatorial District against Ibrahim Lamido of APC. In Sokoto, Zainab Said Abdul Nasir, NTA News.
The Corps Commandant Nigerian Army Education Corps, Major General Bello Abdullahi Soho, has lamented low patronage of the command school in Sokoto State. General Soho, who was speaking during a courtesy call on Governor Ahmed Ali Sokoto, disclosed that he is in Sokoto to inspect the Army command schools. Lata Abdullahi reports.
Major General Bello Abdullahi Soho, who said he is proud to be an indigenous of Sokoto State, revealed that he is in the northwest region and Sokoto in particular to inspect Army command schools and assess their conditions with a view to addressing their challenges. General Soho said the visit is to seek state government's cooperation on three important issues. These are signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Nigerian Army Education Corps and the state government, issue of low patronage of the two command schools of Shagari Boarding and Giginyadi schools, as well as secondment of the state government to the schools and infrastructure support. He assured that the Corps will appreciate government's prompt response to the challenges.
Here to appeal to please see what the state government can do with a view to reversing the trend, because it's really very, very discouraging.
Governor Ahmed Aliyu said the Army Corps' mission in the state is a perfect match to his vision on education, as it is top on his 9-point agenda. Governor Aliyu disclosed that education sector will receive the highest allocation in the 2024 budget, which signifies his administration's commitment to the development of education in the state.
With regards to the MO you have just mentioned, be rest assured it will get our blessings soon.
He assured the commandant that he is ready to provide all the necessary support and cooperation to the Nigerian Army Education Corps in the state. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
That's it for now. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Lami.
Thank you so much, Sadia. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of Adewale Adeni as the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service. The confirmation takes effect from 19th October 2023, and his tenure is in accordance with the extant provisions of the Public Service Rules. The President asked him to bring his wealth of experience to bear on his new assignments. The stakeholders within the disability community are collaborating to bring financial support for some students with disabilities. The aim is to provide a more inclusive and equitable educational platform for the students. Gufan Shaji Gwanyi reports that this initiative by TAF Africa and Glory Campus Fellowship is to empower individuals with disabilities to reach their full potential, fostering their personal growth and contributing to society by removing the financial barriers that hinders their access to quality education.
Partnership between TAF Africa and Glory City Campus Fellowship aims to create a more inclusive and supportive educational environment that allows those students to thrive academically and personally.
Stakeholders here want people of like minds to rally behind the cause in providing an accessible education environment for students with disabilities so that they can excel in their academic pursuits. Building resilience in all fronts in the wake of adverse environmental impact occasioned by climate change and unwholesome human activity plays as the 7th edition of an impact assessment meeting say is a veritable solution for sustained and affordable living. Charles Alpha reports.
Industrial and plastic waste, crude oil spillage, and extreme weather events have all impacted the environment in form of land encroachment, desertification, flood, erosion, and loss of biodiversity. These are some of the issues this 7th Impact Assessment Conference seeks to address.
A lot of things are happening with our climate, and we need to start doing something so that we'll build up the resilience. We have adaptation that will help us to cope.
1 minute without the environment, we will all cease to exist. And so we need to continually talk about the changes that are occurring in our environment.
The idea is to bring together policy and decision makers as well as regulators and environmental analysts to find a potent way of providing protection for the environment.
Granted that even the emission coming from us is said to be less than 4%. But the ripple effect is huge. It is crucial for the Association for Environmental Impact Assessment to critically appraise the emerging challenges that are inherent to be able to balance our actions towards achieving sustainable development.
The stakeholders believe Africa has lots of vegetations to leverage to mitigate extreme weather events, but that this can only be realized through impact assessment. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Following the fresh flood alert issued by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, urging some states to immediately activate their emergency response systems. Residents of flood-prone areas in Abeokuta are leaving no stone unturned to mitigate the effects of the anticipated flood. Hakim Jimo reports that both the federal and Ogun state governments are also evolving strategies to deal with the situation.
The adverse effect of climate change continues to devastate countries of the world, including Nigeria, which battle to mitigate the effects of flooding on the citizens and their property. Flooding has far-reaching consequences, such as rendering people homeless, undermining food security, and in some cases may result to death of innocent and vulnerable citizens. In Ogun State, particularly Abeokuta, the state capital, residents living in high-risk areas like Ijeja, Amolasho, Ijaye, Bangba, Lafenwa, Shokori, dare not sleep with their two eyes closed whenever it rains, so as to prevent the reoccurrence of devastation witnessed some years ago.
They need to remove the bridge and put another one because it's not high enough so that it can contain the pressure of the water.
You can see some of the projects the federal government is bringing to the state. You can see the Olorun Shogo project. They are constructing a channels along the stream course. So we are feeling the impact of the federal government.
Stakeholders, however, continue to advise residents to play their part in flood prevention by desisting from dumping of refuse along water channels and building of structures on waterways, among others.
Flood mitigation
It's not the duty of the government alone. Me and you have a lot to do in the flood mitigation. Don't let us block the drainage.
In Abeokuta, Akim Jimo, NTA News.
Well, Lekong is now at one of the areas that usually experiences flood in Abeokuta to give us a situation report. Hello, Lekong. Go ahead.
Thank you, Lami. We are the Ikereku Idon in Abeokuta, a community that is near Lafenwa in Abeokuta, one of the communities that is prone to flood in Abeokuta. The situation here is just that the people, whenever there is the clouds gather, the palpable fear and apprehension in their minds. It's just that the fear of flood, and they made effort to ensure that they mitigate, just like the federal government and the state government are doing a lot. The people also, it's just like a war that is foretold that can never be an emergency to even a layman, a lame. And the people of this community, they are prepared to ensure that anytime there is a rain, they made adequate preparation to ensure that the rain or the flood does not have any impact on them. And at this community, we have the chairman of this community, Mr. Wasiu Jimo. He's here to tell us what are the efforts being put together by the community to ensure that the flood does not affect them too much. Mr. Wasiu, what are the efforts that the community is making to ensure that the flood that is being, the fear and apprehension of flood does not affect them?
All right, thank you very much, sir. So as you see, this community is called Ituseriki CDA in Abeokuta, Ogun State. You know, this issue of flooding is not new to us, because if you look at the houses are very close to the river, you see their foundation, they are very, very high. And then although we used to experience this on like every two years. So, and then 2 years ago, it was even more than this. And then, you know, it's not new to us. And what we used to do is we used to first of all, by the time we know the rainy season is about to start, so we will alert every neighbor, every houses, so that are very, very close to the river, that they should be prepared. So by the time we see that the tone of the river is a little bit going higher, so we used to look for houses for them, so in our neighborhood, so that they will not be affected too much. And thank God we've been trying to curb this for long, and then thank God we are still trying. I mean we are still achieving our goals. And even presently, look at this location here. So you will see that not too many houses are here. In fact, most of our old houses that have been demolished, that have been collapsed, you know, we don't allow people to rebuild there. And then, although we have been appealing to government, so presently, even during the era of Governor Ibikunle Amosun, that was our immediate past governor of Ogun State. So we appealed to him, and he sent even many people here, some people to come and measure the area here. We told him that he should try and help us to make like a retaining wall, so that by that, you know, we will achieve a little bit. I think we will be a little bit safer without retaining wall. And then we even have our hope that even it can be another a source of income for the government as well, because by this, if there is retaining wall, and people can even be coming there for checkup and for any other thing like a tourism. And you know how people used to go to Lagos for those to watch those beach, and you know we have so many beaches at Lagos. Even too, we can also create a riverbank here, so it will serve as a source of income to the government, and it will even create more employment opportunity for our people here. So I think with this, and also I can also at the same time appeal to the government to help us. You know, we have land lands here, they can help us to build low-cost houses. In fact, you know, those people that are in this area, they can relocate there, even if for rentage. So, and we know by then. So whenever we see that the time is coming, so we'll do something.
Thank you very much. This river is a river Ogun. The torrential flow is just as a result of the release of water from Onyo Dam, and that is this is river Ogun. The release of the water from Onyo Dam is causing the river to overflow its banks and infiltrating into the people's home. Now, let me just hand you over to Kemi Oshi in Badon for the continuation of the news. Leko Agbode is my name.
Thank you very much, Leko, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Providing alternative means of resolving disputes among Nigerians will reduce the challenges of the judiciary and strengthen administration of justice. This formed part of discussion of judicial officers at a conference held in Abeokuta, Ogun State, to brainstorm on policies and measures that will enhance the administration of justice. Yemi Dalemo completes the reports.
The first alternative dispute resolution conference for judges across Nigeria is aimed at making judicial officers deploy alternatives to litigation by resorting to alternative dispute resolution mechanisms such as arbitration, mediation, conciliation, reduce delay in working of dispute resolution, and avail disputant opinion from which they can choose to address their specific concerns.
As judicial officers, we need to embrace and encourage the use of ADR in pre-trial conference much more.
It's our firm belief that at the end of this conference, my lords will be better informed and enlightened on the workings of ADR.
Participants want the adoption of ADR to be more rooted in the country and urge judges to begin to issue orders that will encourage adoption of the practice.
This conference, by the grace of God, affords us an opportunity to harness all of what we have been doing, seek better knowledge and better ways of doing things.
When judges have the skills, then when they look at the case, okay, this case will go, instead of spending years in courts, can get those cases resolved sometimes in 2 hours.
The week-long program is with the theme, the critical role of the justice sector in the promotion of alternatives to litigation. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army has established a base tagged exercise Stillwater in Oruago, Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State. General Officer Commanding 2 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Bamidele Alabi, explained that the exercise will stem the tide of insecurity in the zone. Shola Wahid tells us more.
The troops engaged in the exercise were tasked to carry out daily patrols, cordon and search operations, raids, among others. While launching the operation base, Kwara State Deputy Governor Kayode Alabi appreciated the efforts of the Army and appealed to communities to cooperate with security agencies by providing credible information that will assist the agencies to operate successfully.
Nothing really soldiers can do without information. You will need information. If they see strangers in the village or strangers along the road, they should report quickly to the military.
General Officer Commanding 2 Division commended the synergy between the Nigerian Army and other security agencies, which was responsible for the arrest of several suspects. It charged the troops to conduct themselves in line with the Army's rule of engagement.
To ensure that we chase out all form of criminals, including terrorists, kidnappers, bandits, and others that have been creating security challenges for our people.
Exercise Stillwater 3 commenced on October 2, 2023 to complement other Army security outfits to fight crimes in the country. The choice of Oruago being the base of the exercise Stillwater is because of the forest that is located around this area that harbor criminals. Earlier, the GOC and his team paid a courtesy visit to the Emir of Ilorin Alhaji Ibrahim Sulu Gambari to seek his royal blessings. Shola Wahid, NTA News.
And you're still watching Nationwide on the NTA. More reports from our Makoto Center after this timeout. Stay with us. Welcome to Makurdi. Troops of Operation Wild Stroke have arrested 15 suspects in connection with armed robbery, banditry, and cattle rustling. First Commander of the operation, Major General Sunday Igumowanya, disclosed this while parading the suspects before newsmen in Makurdi. Blessing Omeche Ebute has details.
Parading the suspects, Commander Operation Wild Stroke, Major General Sunday Igumowanya, says 5 of the suspects were arrested for banditry in Nkom local government area of Benue State, while others were arrested in Wukari local government area of Taraba State following a tip-off. He also added that the troops, while responding to a distress call on the 15th of October 2023, arrested suspected armed robbers operating along the Makurdi-Naka road.
This is sounding a very strong warning to criminals operating in Benue, Nasarawa, and Taraba State that the joint operations area of Operation White Stroke is a no-go area for you. And that is also drawing attention of would-be criminals who would like to use the Yuletide period to want to commit crime. You will meet my boys on the highway, in the hamlets, in the forest, and it will not be nice, it will not be tolerable to you.
Also paraded are suspected cattle rustlers operating in Guma local government area of the state. Items recovered from the suspects include locally fabricated pistols, then guns, bags of substances suspected to be cannabis sativa, and various sums of money.
You can see some mobile phones, some other items that we recover from the criminals. These criminals will be handed over to the relevant agencies for prosecution.
He further assures the people of Benue, Taraba, and Nasarawa states of maximum protection and continued prompt response to all distress calls. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
Away from crime, all illegal occupants of government-owned quarters in Benue State have been directed to vacate with immediate effect or face eviction. Governor Hyacinth Alia gave the directive while inspecting some of the government-owned facilities in Makurdi, the state capital. Aliat ETF has more.
Facilities inspected are the premises of the Ministry of Works and Housing Annex Office Complex along the Old Otopo Road, the Ministry of Justice premises, the former office of the State Fire Service, former office of the Nigerian Copyright Commission along the Barracks Road, and the Commissioner's quarters, all in Makurdi. Governor Hyacinth earlier visibly disappointed with the state of the facilities and unapproved activities, directed all illegal occupants to vacate with immediate effect or face forceful eviction. For those that have cultivated crops within such premises, they have up till December this year to harvest their crops and exit.
For those who have encroached on the land, a number of places are encroached, and then these places belong to individuals. That is not right, and we cannot accommodate that.
At the State Secretariat, the governor mandated the head of service to commence the process of automated system of record keeping. He therefore directed the Commissioner for Education and Knowledge Management to investigate the cause of the fire incident that burnt the office of the auditor on the 13th October 2023.
It may have been from some tiny mishap of some gadgets that were left on while we left, and then at the return of the NEPA light or something. But he's going to do a deeper investigation to see we cannot accommodate any sabotage in any form at all.
The governor also inspected dilapidated structures at the Ministry of Works and Housing, where he directed detailed records for necessary action. In Makurdi, Elias, ATF, NTA News.
And that report wraps it up on Nationwide today. Thanks for watching.